Welcome to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by the technician, Chris Aceto, on this October 9th. Yeah, it's October 9th, Chris. Can you believe it? 2017, and
Columbus Day.
It is Columbus Day, isn't it?
Yep. 1492, Columbus
sailed the ocean blue.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that the rhyme?
Something like that.
1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
Yeah.
I told you the story. My dad named me after. They used to call him Columbus, Mr. Columbus.
After Christopher Columbus.
So they named me. My middle name is Christopher.
My grandmother said he's Italian. She used to say he's Italian.
I guess he was. No, he was Italian, but he flew for the. He sailed for the Spanish fleet because the Italians wouldn't believe in him.
Yeah, no, he was Italian. My grandmother said I was named after him, and she said she hated him. Because she said she wished she never discovered this country, this rotten country, because my grandmother was in a matched marriage.
Oh, really?
They took her, she told me, from Italy.
Wow. When she was like 14, I bet, too, right?
She was 16.
Yeah. That's what they did back then. You can get away with that stuff back then.
Yeah, to marry a rotten grandfather, she used to tell me.
And they probably were married for 60 years, knowing them, right?
No, they were. No, she was a one-in original. You know what? She got a divorce early on, and that was the scarlet letter in those days.
Yeah, no, I didn't think people did that. My grandparents fought.
They didn't do that. She did that.
Oh, she did that.
I think she threatened to kill him if she didn't.
Really? Wow.
In divorce her. Yeah.
I have people calling me from Kuwait now.
Oh. 974 area code, I think it is, or is it 971 or?
So Columbus Day was commemorated by the landing of Christopher Columbus in the Americas on October 12th, 1492. The funny thing is he didn't even land in America, right? He landed in like South America, didn't he? From what I understand, even know. Or one of those islands.
I homeschool my kids; only know Google, dude. I don't know. I think it's. Did they land on Plymouth Rock, or was that the Indian? That was the Indian.
That was the Pilgrims, I think. It was the Pilgrims. Mayflower, right?
Oh, yes. The happy-go-lucky Mayflower.
I don't think... I don't know. I guess it's the only Italian holiday in over here in the United States, right?
Is it an Italian holiday?
Yeah, well, he's Italian. Right?
Yeah. So that's my grandmother. I don't know. What's Wikipedia say? What's Google say?
I don't know. I don't take off Columbus Day, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my life.
Self-employed, there's no days off.
No. I wouldn't take any days off. I wouldn't give my workers no days off because I feel like the weekends are enough. But you got to give them like Christmas off and New Year's, something like that. Actually, no. What do we do? I don't even. I know we have Thanksgiving off. We do. Somehow someone conned me into doing Labor Day, but I think I conned my people into coming in.
Labor Day.
I think I got them a half a day out of them this year because one of them was sick, and then what is the other holiday we do? I guess we do Christmas, but the last couple of years Christmas hasn't been falling on a week. It was on a weekend, so got away with it. I think. I don't know. It was an interesting week. It's been an interesting couple of weeks in RX Muscle history, as we like to say, and that's because Johnny Styles left the business, and I replaced him with a new person. So people are asking me. I have a guy by the name of Tyler, 26 years old, film student. Well, he was a film student. He's been in the business for 10 years. Genius with editing and cinematography, and he lives right near us. It's great. So he's been doing terrific. We're learning the ropes. This coming week, hopefully, we'll be getting all our TV program back up and running. And, people have asked me why Johnny left. And the truth is he left on his own accord. He didn't want to play by my rules anymore. And sometimes, people feel like they got to move on, and they move on. So, I always say, and I'm probably the easiest boss to work for, Chris, but when people don't agree with what the boss says, then you really only have one choice: to leave, because the boss gets to make the rules, and that's all there was to it. It wasn't any kind of a negative thing until the very end. And then I found out something that someone told me a long time ago. No one ever leaves on good terms. I don't know why. It's like ending a relationship with a girl. Have you ever ended a relationship with a girl that ended on good terms? I'm not talking about where you became friends later. I'm talking about where you actually were like amicable from the minute you left.
Yeah, does that really happen?
It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah. It's the same thing with people when you have employees who work for you a long time. You have a relationship with them in a certain sense, and when two people don't agree and they go the other way, it's a disagreement, and that's just the way it is. I'm not going to go into all the details because it's no one else's business. But we're back up and running, and I edited Muscle in the Morning for last week. I still had my skills down. I did a decent job with it, I think, and I always say, as the owner of the company, who said this? That Warren Buffett, you should be able to do everything, right? Including clean the baskets, waste paper baskets.
Did he say that? No, he definitely didn't say that.
He did. Someone said that.
No, he said the opposite. When he bought a tool company, someone asked him about the tools, and he said, I don't even know how to hold the hammer.
Someone said you should be able to do everything, and I agree. I can do everything in the company.
Oh my goodness!
Except QuickBooks. My wife, that's her forte. I can't.
I know nothing with apartments. Literally, I wouldn't know how to. I do not know how to change a lock. I don't know how to hang a door.
Does that scare you though that you're so dependent? Have all these apartments and you're so dependent on like other people to do things for you?
No, it doesn't scare me.
Okay. I don't care either. I have no desire to learn. I am getting my bathroom redone.
Yeah.
I watch these guys put tile on, the marble tile. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm like, wow. And I'm thinking to myself, probably if I devoted 6 months of my life to learning how to do this, it probably wouldn't be so difficult. But I don't even want to know. I like the fact that it's so amazing that I go in there and every couple hours and I see new tiles. I'm like, oh, this looks great. Look how perfectly even they got this. There's not a nick here and it aligns up. And I'm like, I'm so impressed with like this. And they're probably thinking, looking at the stuff I'm doing, writing diets, and they're like, how the fuck is he doing that? So everyone's got their own skill set, and I don't even want to know how to do it. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, well,
my wife watches all these home improvement shows on TV, and I watch them too. But she's trying to figure out how they do it. I'm like, I don't even care. I just want to see them do it.
Yeah.
You could put it in fast motion. I'll watch it I just like to see the transformation occur.
Yeah.
That's what I'm into.
The before and after.
Yeah. So I was on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast this past week. As you know, I've been doing Stone Cold Steve Austin's diet. Mm-hmm. And he has this crazy TV show where these people do this crazy challenges out in the desert, and so he wanted to get in shape for that. So he'd been experimenting with ketogenic diets, and he really didn't know too much. He had his own. They have that medical version where it's like a higher fat, low protein, no carb diet. And it doesn't work for athletes, So I got him on mine, and he got some great results. And so he got me on the podcast, and I was so impressed with how researched he was on who I was, what I did, what my beliefs were, and he had some really pertinent, educated, questions based on the science of dieting, and it was a really enlightening show. If any of you guys watch the podcast or don't watch it, you can go to your iTunes store and you can even just Google Stone Cold Steve Austin, podcast.
What's the two best questions he asked?
I don't even remember. There's so many of them, but it's funny. One of the funniest things he said, and I was filming a little bit behind the scenes day in the life of that day with Tyler, our new video guy, and he put it up on it's on one of the videos on our site, the day in the life of Dave Palumbo from last week, and one of the things that Stone Cold said at the end was, he really enjoyed the Boston Lloyd interviews I do. he's such a breath of fresh air. He's so honest. I said, oh my God. I said,
well, how about this? If you didn't know what's the two best questions he asked with regards to diet? Why did he retire? Did he have an injury? Or?
Yeah, I think he was just beat up. He can only take so much so long, and it's just not. He's into health now. But he did say I lived the rock star. My character in the WWE was the guy who lived the rock star lifestyle. He goes, that's me. He goes, that wasn't acting. He goes, I like to drink beers and I like to drink whiskey and have a good time and party. He goes, but I'm getting older now. Because when he contacted me and we were going over his diet, he goes, I just want to be honest with you because he's very forthright. I want this to work. He goes, I drink a couple of little whiskey every night. He goes, is that a problem? Well, it's a problem if you're trying to get in shape. I said it's a problem. So
he's got a little Jose Raymond in him.
Yeah, he gave up the whiskey like Jose did for like 10 weeks, and he got some great results. So, but he's a breath of fresh air to work with. He really is, because he'll ask you so pertinently, and you know what the great thing is. I know I can answer pretty much any question he's going to ask me, but he asks it like in such a demanding, like authoritative way that like if you didn't know the answer to the question, some of these guys are frauds out there that do contests, diet stuff. He would eat you alive because he would know more than you do, and he would be like, "Man, this is bullshit," and he'd hang up the phone on you. So that's why he likes me, because I can answer all his questions, and that's what he was looking for. So. It was if you're looking for like a really detailed, like interview on diet and especially ketogenic diet stuff, watch this podcast and tell you the Steve Austin Show. It's all over the place, and it was a pleasure for me to do it. So that was fun. I actually enjoy working with guys like him more than sometimes than the pro bodybuilders, because he just wants to look good, and they'll listen to anything you tell you. Pro bodybuilding, it sucks because you can get a guy in the best shape of his life, and if he doesn't win the show, you fucked up, pretty much. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know that. I mean, yeah, it's you've been blamed. Nice. You've been blamed. Look at Rami. Last year. You got him in the best shape of his life. He didn't win the Olympia, and they're like, "Great to see you. You're too flat. You fucked him up."
Yeah, it's funny. He did end up beat multiple times all the people he's never beaten in the past.
Exactly. I wonder why he did. Why do you think Rami didn't do the Prague show? And why do you think he stopped?
I don't know.
Was he burnt out? You think?
No, I mean, I have no idea. No idea, actually. Prague is a tough show to do. It's a tough show to do. It's the third show of the after the Olympia. Your body gets tired with all the flying, and the judging is traditionally all over the place, no matter who's there.
Yeah.
Because you got different, it's funny, you got different factions of judges. What I mean by factions is, people from Europe may judge a little bit differently than people who traditionally judge, let's say, the New York Pro or the California Pro or the NPC Nationals. Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not getting the same. You're not getting the same judges you would get in America.
Yeah, you're not getting the same consistency, and I don't mean by consistency that the judges here are better than there, but they might have a different preference. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I don't know why he didn't compete, and the Prague show is always a wide open show every year. It's almost like they want to show how independent the judging panel is by crowning someone different every year.
Yeah,
unexpected.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, we had the big show of this weekend. I mean, there was a few pro shows, but as far as for men go, the big show this weekend was the Kuwait Pro, which last year had a men's open. I don't know why they got rid of them. I got to ask Bader about that, but they had a
who won it last year? Who won it last year?
Big Rami.
Who did he beat?
I don't even know. Who did he beat? Sean Roden?
Dexter and Sean Roden?
Yeah.
Who helped them?
No bullshit. I help him. Chris stopped helping him after prejudging at Olympia. We take over. No, the truth is that Rami did look good this year. He was certainly not in the best shape of his life like he was last year, but he did look good. So what it is. Look, that's their player over there. Chris, you know this at this point. That's their marquee guy.
No, I'm just reminding you.
Just like Ashkenani.
Who won the show last year?
Well, yeah, but he didn't do it this year. He won the Arnold this year, though. So
I know.
All right, we're not going to pick on Beta because you know what? Beta actually was a victim this weekend, and I want to go over what happened because it was very controversial. As you know, the 212.
What was the off-show prediction for it, Dave? First of all, prediction.
Let me line up who the characters, the players were, and then then we'll talk about what you predicted, and then we'll say what happened. Okay, because this was billed as the 212, showdown, so to speak. Obviously, minus Flex Lewis, but this was originally going to be Jose Raymond versus Hadi Choopan, which was a rematch from the Asia Grand Prix, essentially. Everyone over there thought that Hadi deserved to beat Flex Lewis. We never saw Hadi next to Jose, so we figured, this is going to be a great showdown. Hadi being the 212 pro from Iran, who was not able to get to the Olympia this year because of the Trump policies of, not giving visas to some of these Iranian guys, or any Iranian people for that matter. And so he went to the Asia Grand Prix, and then he was on the list to do the Kuwait show. So we all thought he was going to do the Kuwait show, and then at the last minute,
Hold on.
Now, listen, I'm getting to that.
Because I want to.
You said right from the beginning. Props. I don't know if you told me on the record or off the record or off the air.
I said no way in hell.
You said he will not show up. Yes, you said that. Now, what was your impetus for that? What was your reasoning?
I said he can't compete in the show.
Why?
He will not be in the show. I have like a million reasons.
You thought, though, it would be like a political reason, like they wouldn't be able to get him in the country or someone would prevent him, right?
Oh, I said, let's, Iranians and Kuwaitis on the best terms. And even if they were on the best terms, the last thing that you want, really, I think, is Chopi standing next to Ashkenani.
Now, Ashkenani was not set to do the show. He was not on that competitors list until like a day or two before the show. So I don't know why there was any hesitation for him doing the show, unless they just didn't get his name in. But it seemed as though he wasn't initially going to do it.
Well, he did it.
Well, yeah, he did it. He did do it.
But I told you he was doing it even when he wasn't on the list.
Right. And you said
that was
why did you feel that?
I based that on a hunch.
Okay. So you thought that
the hedge was made. The hedge was made.
All right. Let's
bet was made. Dave, the bet was made that if Chopi is in the show, maybe it's not a good idea to risk running into the show and competing against Chopi. There's a lot of pride. This show would have been different than Jose Raymond meets Ahmed Ashkenani. It is, there's a lot of national pride with, and rightfully so.
Explain to people what the nationality clash, because is it two separate religious groups?
It's so deep. It just there's it's just deep on so.
Ahmad Ashkenani is Kuwaiti, and he's a Muslim. What kind of Muslim is he?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a Muslim thing, but Persians and Arabs are not the same. They don't get along. Not the same. Okay. They are not the same. Americans think that Persians, because they're Muslims, are Arabs, or many Americans think that Kuwaitis, because they're Arabs, are, somehow Persian. They get it all mixed up, and there is a very distinct, difference in, culturally there's a difference, religiously there's a difference, rivalry there's a difference. They couldn't be, further apart on so many different levels. And remember, besides football, right, soccer, a lot of the countries, let's say Kuwait or Iran, don't have, what we have in terms of so many sports we can support in America. Football and soccer and basketball and, you know what I mean? And we're a big country of 300 million people. I know Iran's big too. But, you're a national celebrity and hero if you're Ahmed Ashkenani or Chopi in Iran. So there's a lot to lose. There is a lot to lose. And when you lose, the sense is not I lost. The sense is I let everyone down. And that's connected to the idea of shame. And there is nothing worse in those cultures to bring shame. So it was setting up like the clash of, well, I wouldn't say the clash of civilization, but it was setting up a big, major clash where somebody can't win. Somebody has to lose. And, in that context, Chopi had a lot to lose, and Ashkenani had a lot to lose. And that's why I told you off the record, I said, I don't think Chopi's going to show up.
So you're saying that Chopin chickened out, essentially,
No, I just said he wasn't going to show up to the show.
Well, but let's lay out the scenario, because a lot of people might. Basically, what you need to do is you need to get a visa to get into Kuwait. Pretty much anyone who's connected in Kuwait, whether it be Bader Badai or any other people who run shows there, can get these athletes' visas pretty easily. And from what I understand, and what we spoke to Bader, I know Sid spoke to Bader, Hadi was supposed to show up, and for some reason he wasn't able to make it to the weigh-in. And if you don't weigh in at the 212, you can't compete, obviously, because you got to weigh 212 pounds. Now, I also found out, we both did, through King Kamali, I verified this, that Hadi was in Kuwait this past weekend.
I told you, I found that out before. Yeah, before.
Now, he was planning originally to do the show, but never, obviously didn't show up. And then he was going to do a show the following day on Sunday, a WABA show or something like that, where the promoters supposedly teased that he was giving away $50,000 in cash to the winner, and they were trying to insinuate that Hadi's name was written all over this $50,000. And somehow Hadi was connived into going by the promoter telling him that, oh, it's okay, Jim Mannion's fine with it, and that whatchamacallit, the William Bonac was competing there, and which obviously is not true. And he was convinced that it was okay, and I think he was as far as backstage pumping up for the show. And then someone finally got through to him, because I guess the cell service wasn't working there, and they're like, "What are you doing there? You shouldn't be competing there. You're an IFBB Pro. You should be competing in the IFBB Pro, leagues competitions." And I from what I understand, I think he never competed. So why he didn't go the day before and compete at the Kuwait 212 Pro show, I don't know. And like you said, it might have been a fear factor. Here's a guy, Ahmad
That's my speculation, Dave.
Well, Ahmad Ashkenadi's the first.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Hadi already beat Jose in Asia, but he hadn't beaten Ahmad Ashkenadi, and it was Ashkenadi's hometown, so that could have played some part in it. But I don't know until I get Hadi Choopan on the show and interview him.
My next point.
We'll never know. Maybe I can get Kamali to come on in as his translator, and we can get him on the show, because this was could have been one of the most exciting 212 shows of the year, and it fizzled because Hadi never showed up. Now, obviously, Jose and Ashkenadi finally battled it out, mano a mano. Although we have not seen many pictures up, you had sent me some pictures personally that I think Jose's friend had taken from the crowd. Why we haven't seen any pictures, I don't know. I've been looking for them, the official pictures. Have you searched recently for them?
Yeah, I said Choppy wouldn't be in the show and we wouldn't have official pictures.
Now, why did you say that?
I just think that we've never seen ever Ashkenadi directly next to Jose. And I thought that if that occurs, that Jose would look better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that there's not a slew of photos that come out with them side by side. And I mean, you can look around and there are photos with them side by side. And I thought, just like I thought at the Olympia, even though they weren't side by side with each other at the Olympia, that Jose would come out on top. I mean, Ashkenadi's a great bodybuilder, but he has some. I mean, everyone has their own weaknesses and their own strengths, but his weakness is still, I think, his quads. And his condition this year is not anywhere near where it was at last year's Olympia.
Yeah, I agree.
So, especially at this show, I thought his condition was, better at the Olympia than it was here. And standing next to Jose, when you got, and I'm not the glutes and hams guy. How many times do I say I'm not a glutes and hams guy? But when you have glutes and hams that are insane, it's got to count for kind of sort of something. When you have a Christmas tree that is, the best in the 212 class this year, far and away, it kind of sort of counts for something. In other words, you say, well, conditioning counts for something. And, Jose's no small guy either. Packs a lot of muscle and density. So, I mean, you saw the pictures. Or you saw the pictures. You saw the one picture of the. I don't know how many pictures are out there. 4.
I gotta put those pictures up now because no one has them. Because I looked at Beta Badai's Instagram and I don't see any. I see pictures from the men's physique that they had up there, but I don't see any pictures from the 212 Pro, which is it is bizarre. It is bizarre. I don't know why they're not up there, and I don't know what the reason is if they feel that.
You just asked me why.
Well, you said that Ashkenaz. So okay, so you think that they're purposely withholding these pictures?
Dave, listen, the nonsensicalness of it is. Did I not say to you before the radio show started last week, Choppy wouldn't be in the show?
You did,
and then we won't see any pictures from the show.
And you really believe that, huh?
It's speculative, meaning it's all in my own mind. But it's funny that it came out. That's why I said, write it down, Dave. Just like I said, write it down that Trump will win and write it down that he'll be impeached.
Well, these pictures look like Louis Marco posted them. Are these Louis Marco pictures?
Oh, yeah. But I think they came from... Okay, Jose sent them to me. Maybe they are Louis Marcos. Yes, that's right. They are.
Okay.
And he said go to Louis Marco, but I don't know how to get to Louis Marco's IG, Instagram.
Yeah, Louis Marco was there. So
yeah.
I'll put up a picture on my Instagram just from Louis Marcos, just so people can see what we're talking about. But yeah, it's interesting. From the pictures, it looked to me as though Jose had him beat. But like I said, I'm not there. I'm not making any calls on this. But it is odd that there's not a lot of pictures. You would think that, Bader would have sent out media pictures to all the media websites to put up to help promote a show. So that next year it's even bigger. It is interesting. Not that I would have gone or you would have gone because we have families and everything like that. But we were the only ones not invited.
No, I went last year.
Well, you went on your own.
You went on your own. I didn't. I went on Remy and Roden's Diamond stayed at Remy's house the whole time.
That's true.
And I told you last year was it's an extremely well run show. The competition, this was men's open last year, was great. It was the Olympia minus Phil. That's
why I really thought that Beta would do it again. I mean, come on, man. It was exciting.
The production value was extremely impressive. And, of course, I'd like to rib him, and we'll continually rib him, Darth Vader. But, the hospitality is like, 10-stop. It's off the charts.
I heard Tad, the diet coach who was there judging, was
didn't want to leave, Tad.
Yeah, I heard they gave him 24-hour-a-day sushi. He's moving there.
I get to. Did Tad get the Lamborghini because they gave out Lamborghinis to the judges last year? Did Tad get one this year?
He didn't want. He just said he wanted free all-you-can-eat sushi for the duration of his stay. That's all he wanted. So I saw, everyone was there except us. I said, not like I said, I could have gone anyway, but we weren't. I don't think we were invited. Beta likes us anymore.
I was there in spirit.
Yeah,
I was there egging on everyone via Jose Raymond.
We could criticize all we want, but Beta is good for the sport, and that's all there is to it. Because of the fact that he's infusing it with money, he's infusing it with excitement, he's infusing it with stuff that he doesn't need to do. He doesn't need the money. He's doing it because of his love of the sport. And, when you do that, it can only help the sport grow.
He'll still yell at you even though you're nice to him. But
yes,
go ahead.
No bullshit, right?
Yeah,
no bullshit. Yeah. No bullshit. All right. Once again, Beta, bring the Pro Open back next year, please. And you might as well put a classic division in there as well. Because everyone wants to go out to Kuwait. It's a good excuse to get everyone out there. They should just give him the Olympia, for God's sakes. Let him run the Olympia there, right? Think about how nice that would be. It'd be a long flight.
The venue's not big enough. They don't have the venue.
They'll build a new one. Or our other friend will build another one, and where?
Yeah. It's not Qatar. It's not like the World Cup.
Yeah, I was
going to say, they're building 22 stadiums.
Qatar could probably lease out one of those stadiums for the Olympia, I'm sure. They should move it. You remember how it used to be in different places? I like that it's in Vegas,
fun.
But
I know. You know what it is, though? It's so damn big to move. That's the reason they can't move it.
It's more than one show now.
The reason why when D'Amelia had it and he could move it everywhere is because it was a pre-judging that lasted 1 hour and he had 22 booths in the lobby.
Right.
You know what I mean? Robin Chang there'll never be the capacity to move it again because they don't have the.
No, I know.
I mean, who's going to have the hotel rooms, the infrastructure,
Well, I think they could do the hotel rooms and everything like that, but would you get the same, people with the same supplement companies are not going to go to, Kuwait because they don't sell in Kuwait. So it would be a different phenomenon. I understand. So that's why they have to have like the Olympia, Kuwait. They'll have to call it the Mr. Olympia Kuwait. Remember that one year they had you were there, the Mr. Olympia Europe?
Yeah, in Germany.
Yeah, that was a good one. Who won that?
That was
it Roden?
My arch nemesis? No, Dexter.
Oh, Dexter won it, right. You're right.
Dexter won, and that was the one Remy had, someone in India had pushed Remy, and that's where the leg, seriously. He had a leg injury, and that was the end of the Aceto-Remy, affiliation.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think his legs ever recovered from that, to be honest with you. I still don't think they're as good as they were. They're very good, obviously, but they're not as good as they used to be, I think. Who knows, right?
Well, your physique changes as you get older. I think he's 33 now, too. So.
He's still young, though. I don't believe that. When he hits 35...
I just wanted to throw some rhetorical internet bullshit out there. Your physique changes as you get older, and so people can repeat that.
How about Sean Clarita snagging that third-place position over there in Kuwait?
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I mean, that's very impressive, given the fact...
He's very impressive.
Given the fact that, there was... Ricardo Correa in that lineup. There was Ahmad Talat El Dasami from Egypt, who was fourth. Correa was fifth. Bola Ojax is good also, who is in the sixth position. Ronnie Raquel, seventh. So Sean Clarita really, really impressed, I think. He probably should get the most underrated bodybuilder at this show because no one expected that, I think, from him. So tremendous performance there, especially after doing the Olympia and having to fly over there. So a lot of these guys are Middle Eastern, so they're already it's a hop, skip, and a jump. So Sean, great job. Was Jose pissed off at second?
No,
he wasn't. Okay.
No, because I think he was. He got the peer review award.
What did they give out money wise to these guys?
I think like $490,000 first. No, I don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question. I don't know what they gave out.
Tad just wanted sushi, but I'm sure Jose needed more than sushi. Maybe a few beers in there too.
No, I don't think you can drink in Kuwait. I don't know what they might.
I bet you
they had to smuggle it across the border somewhere.
They had a pro men's physique division. It was all Kuwaitis essentially in there. Abdullah Al Sayef won from Kuwait, so he'll be at the Olympia next year. Mohammed Boukwamar, I'm probably butchering these guys' names. Second, the third position, Abdulaziz El Mohad from Saudi Arabia. So congratulations. And then there was all Kuwaitis. There was one guy from Germany, and then there was a Filipino guy. I don't know where he must have got. I think he took the wrong flight there, and he was he was heading to do some MMA fighting. He figured, fuck, I missed the flight. I'll just do the men's physique here, and he took 11th. But so hey, look, good job. Keep up the good work, Beta, with the shows. Keep promoting. Hold a few more shows there. We bodybuilders, we need money, and this is a great way. You give tons of exposure, and there's always controversy at Beta shows too, so that makes it even more exciting. So let me see what they don't list any prize money here. I don't know. Very, very nondescript. Very nondescript. All right, there was also the Phoenix Europa. Oh, the Phoenix Europa show is coming up this weekend. Yeah, that's out in Phoenix, Arizona. The 212 looks very bare and barren, Chris, compared to what we just saw.
It's weird, because how deep has the 212 shows been all year?
And it's usually this is usually a very competitive show.
Usually, I mean, they've had 34 in that show.
Jose should get on an airplane and head out there right now.
He's probably 290 by now.
They have a pro men's 212 and they have a pro fitness. It's funny. This show is the only show that every year they seem to take away and add divisions. It's like going out of style. They just keep changing it up. Maybe that's fun. Makes it more fun. I see that Ariel Kadar is going to be in that lineup. Who else is going to be in that lineup? I see the youngest the youngest pro of all, Nicole Niergardner from Palm City, Florida. I interviewed her. She's going to be in that lineup. So I guess that must be her pro debut. And there's more fitness girls than there are pro 212 guys. But I guarantee you, over this next week, you'll have like 5 guys jump into the show because they're going to look at the lineup and they're going to be like, "Fuck, this is pretty easy. I'm going to go do the show." Like, why wouldn't Ricardo Correa go do the show, or or Tank Dixon, someone like that? Clarita can go there and clean house. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. That's a good call on your part. I'm sure he's booking his flight right now because he wants to. That's an easy, Olympia qualification right there for him. Let's see what else took place this past weekend. John Lindsay had the Border States Fig Pro Figure. Stephanie Hammermeister. Oh, she didn't win. I thought she won. Who won? Oh, Karina Gra won from Paraguay. Mm-hmm. Bojana Valšević from Serbia, second. And Wendy Fortino, third, with Stephanie Hammermeister in the fourth position. Julie Mayer in fifth. Okay, that was that show. And then we also had... I don't know if anyone even cares about the contest coverage I give out, but I'd like to announce the winners so that people feel special. Bikini Pro at the San Antonio Classic, and that was Monica Ellis wins that. Congratulations. Second place went to Tawny Eubanks, like her. And Jerry Berger from Honolulu was third. All right, girls. Congratulations on those wins. What else was there here? There was a Masters. No one cares about Masters. I won't even announce the Masters. That's it for contest coverage this week, Chris. We're winding down the season, but we obviously still have the NPC Nationals coming up in 6 weeks. That's going to be super fun. What else is happening in the world of bodybuilding? Anything going on with your athletes, or is everyone done for the season?
Nothing's going on, nothing's going on, right? It's one show after another. Before we blink, we'll be talking about the Arnold, so... Right?
Speaking of the Arnold, I was going to ask you.
See?
Who of your athletes are going to be doing it this year?
Sergio Oliva's doing it.
Oh, really?
That's about it, yeah.
That's great. I told Keem Williams that he should do it. I hope he does.
What are you saying?
He's thinking about it because he had never done it before, and I think they would invite him if he asked.
Is he in New York, or is he going to Kuwait to prepare for it?
No, he's done with the Kuwait. They fired him because he can't eat a lot of carbs.
No.
Hopefully, I'd like to work with him again. I told him that. I said, don't feel funny. I'm the one who told him to go to Kuwait. I think it's good that athletes experience different things because then they appreciate what they got at home more. You know what I'm saying?
No, I told De La Rosa to go, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "It'd be great for you."
Yeah, it's a great experience. If you're look. When I was bodybuilding, and I don't know if you were the same way as I was consumed with it to the point where,
Dave, we're consumed with anything that we do. You and I, we just get consumed like up the wazoo. It's a you name it.
All I wanted to do was talk bodybuilding. All I wanted to do was find out better training methods and better, drugs that worked and supplements and any little edge that I could get. I would want to find out about it. So I would want to go to Kuwait just to find out what was going on there and see what they were doing, so that in my mind I could say, "Oh, they're not doing anything that I wasn't doing already," or "Oh, this is a good idea. Maybe I could add this to my repertoire." So I think it's good to share ideas, and that's something that I don't know if that still goes on because I don't know what these pros talk about amongst each other. But back in the day, we would first of all there was only telephones. There was no internet. There was no emailing, really. So, if I was at a show, like when I was with Milos in Dubai in 1996, and we spent, 4 days together, all we did was talk about, supplements and drugs and training and eating, and we exchanged ideas.
Stop, dude. Milos, I don't mean that in a negative way by any means. Milos cannot stop talking about bodybuilding. It's great.
But I loved it. I mean, because
that's what I mean. It's great.
Yeah.
He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Any topic, carbs, you need 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
Proteins, 5 hours.
But back then,
carb depletion.
You got to remember, back then, Milos and I weren't like guru coaches. We were competitors. So it was a different type of thing. Like
No,
he wasn't
but
he was trying everything on himself, not on Dennis Wolf and
listen,
Nasser and those.
Milos would tell you. I didn't even. He would walk around with that notebook, 500 pages. He would walk around with a notebook, 24/7. I mean, he was a walking, talking encyclopedia of the experiment called Milos Sarcev. I mean, if you could do this, you would say Milos. Even now, you'd say Milos, Montreal, 1995. What place you get? He'd tell you what place he got, what place Rami got, what place Flex Wheeler got, and he'd tell you about his how he used the Demodex with the 500 glucose polymer 3 days before, and it spilled a little bit of water in the quads, and you're able to pull that right out with the sauna, dry sauna, not wet.
That's a good impression, I got to tell you.
No, he is. There's no one like Milos. He can talk forever on any topic. Yeah. Glucose, 5 hours.
Milos, are you really responsible for helping Nasser El Somebody get to the conditioning and the?
He did. Listen, because I know Milos listens. Milos, please tell Dave the best Nasser ever looked was at the Houston Pro when you helped him the first time. He went from big and pretty hard to freaky, dense, wacky hard and big. Someone send me some pictures from Nasser at the Houston Pro, because that's the first time Milos worked with him. It's true. And Nasser became the new Nasser. Right.
What do you think Nasser would have done? Like, let's say Nasser was still competing in this day and age, and Bader invited him to go out to Kuwait.
Would he go?
Yeah, he would probably go because he would try to get.
In his heyday, he would definitely go.
Yeah, he wanted to get the free drugs, but what would Nasser say about the competition there and everything like that?
About Dave, I don't have any competition. I don't. Rami was in kindergarten when I was beating Baxilla. Yeah, he would go, but he would say there's no competition.
He'd be a little belittle everyone there. Yeah.
I can't. I'm so intellectually heads and shoulders above all Kuwaitis. I speak 9 languages, and I speak them in 14 different countries.
We'd be like, Nasser, why is it that you're Egyptian, and why does the Rami not speak 18 languages?
Because my mother.
He has a low IQ because he was a fisherman, and he'd go into a whole he would put Rami down because Rami would be like someone who would be threatening to him because he has
He would put Rami down, not a jealousy, dude. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Oh my god!
It's funny. Nasser was a freak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I hate the word freak because there's not a lot of freaky guys. There's really not. There's a handful.
Yeah.
But it's funny that Nasser was a freak and he was Egyptian, and Rami is a freak and he's Egyptian. I mean, they're two of the freaky bodybuilders in the last, 20 years.
Wasn't Nasser though? Nasser was Egyptian? He was living in Yugoslavia, wasn't he? Though, what was the story behind it? Because that's how him and Milos met, right?
I think his mother was. He told me what. Yeah, his mother was. Yeah, Yugoslavian.
Oh, is that how it was? And his father was Egyptian. He looked Egyptian, though. He looked very Egyptian. He looked way more Egyptian than Rami looks, even. Rami looks like one of those Egyptian gods from back in the day. You see these sculptures. Like if you go to one of those pyramids there, I guarantee you could find some old gold hewn statue of a Egyptian god that looked like Rami. I guarantee it. No doubt in my mind.
But they're diametrically opposites because Rami can't say anything bad about
anyone.
A bad person.
Yeah. Well, Nasser hated that about people.
Wait a minute, Dave.
What?
Dave, he can't say anything bad about a bad person. And Nasser can't say anything good about a good guy.
Right. Well, you know what Nasser hated? Nasser hated Gunther Schlierkamp. And I'll tell you why. Gunther is also one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He always had a smile on his face. And Nasser hated that he always was smiling. And he used to say, if you throw him a nickel, he will smile for you. like in other words, anyone could buy a smile off of Gunther. No, Nasser, he was just a nice guy. That's why people liked him. They didn't like you because you were not a nice guy, because you would ridicule and put everyone down behind your back. And that was probably, like you said, out of jealousy and envy. You know,
he's a fraud. They like him because he's got blonde hair like Jay Cutler and tan, and I'm Egyptian and Arab, and ask Dennis James, he will tell you that I'm 3 times bigger than Dennis James was a freak actually in his heyday too. Speaking of freaks,
actually Nasser
was pretty freaky, right?
Nasser spoke German too, because I remember him and Dennis James would talk German, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because Dennis James speaks
one of the 9 languages that he spoke in 14 different countries.
Yeah. Nasser was. You know what? I'm trying to find. John Romano did a radio show for a little while with Lee Priest. It was a very politically incorrect show, but they had Nasser on the show because Nasser wouldn't go on any conventional radio shows. And I'm trying to find, if anyone out there has a copy of that show, you got to send it to me, the MP3 of it, because I got to play the Nasser parts, because I want to play the clips, and then you and I can comment on them, because Nasser was just, that was probably the last interview he ever did, because no one ever, he wouldn't appear on. We used to ask him all the time when I was with Muscular Development.
Nasser would come up with the same nicknames, derogatory nicknames, as like Donald Trump would come up for his competitors.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Little Marco for Marco Rubio, or Rocket Man for the guy from the leader of North Korea. He would come up with little nicknames for all the competiters.
Except no one knew that. Only Nasser knew the nickname. Unless you were in Nasser's inner circle.
He'd talk about you every once in a while.
Yeah, he would talk about everyone. I don't think there's anyone that I don't think it was anyone you could actually say that I was Nasser's friend. You thought you were his friend, but behind your back, he would be talking about you. That was just him. I remember I was in what's it called? The French Quarter there. What is it? Louisiana there. New Orleans. I was in New Orleans guest posing with Nasser. We were going around the French Quarter together.
He must have hated that because you didn't have your pro card, and he would probably felt offended.
Oh, I'm sure he did, but he always pretended he was my friend. I actually appeared a lot of places with Nasser, believe it or not. We guest posed a lot of the same places. Of course, Nasser was never in shape. He was just like huge,
No, I know.
Cuts.
He was the worst guest pose, right?
Yeah, and he would wear his glasses on stage.
Nasser would guest pose like 11 weeks out, like looking like 340, with not even remote. He looked like a WWF wrestler.
Yeah, no conditioning whatsoever.
Right?
Yeah.
And people said he'll never.
And I'd be like, Nasser,
are
you dieting yet? You get the Olympia coming up in like 10 weeks. Yes, I'm dieting. I said, what are you eating? I said, we just went to this restaurant. You were eating pasta. Yes, I eat some pasta with my chicken. And I said, that's a lot of carbs, isn't it? I said, pasta's a hard. I don't know anyone who eats pasta like when they die. Have you ever heard that ever? I mean, I know guys eat a lot of carbs, but does anyone eat pasta?
Yeah, Cutler, but go ahead.
He did, really? While dieting?
Yeah, 2001. Yeah, 1,000 grams a day.
Yeah, but that was to carb him up. I'm talking about like during his diet.
He for the 2001 Olympia, he ate 1,000 grams a day, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, insulin." No, he just had a good metabolism. He was like 25.
That is crazy. Anyway, but Nasser didn't have Cutler's metabolism, and I'm like, "You're eating pasta." I said, "Why don't you maybe eat some rice or some ground rice or something like that?" No, I do not. I do not like. Do not enjoy rice. All these bodybuilders with the rice, and I just don't enjoy it. And so I remember there was a show. I don't know if I guess if I just went out to eat with them. We were in Brooklyn. Not in Brooklyn. We were in the Bronx. It was at Lehman High School. I'll never forget this. And the promoters who owned the Powerhouse Gym there took us all out to eat afterwards. And we went to City Island. Okay.
Oh, I know. That's why I brought my boat.
Yeah, Bob Grushkin loved this City Island. So we went to City Island to this lobster place there. I mean, they must have spent a fortune.
There's only like 2 restaurants in City Island at the time, probably.
It was late. They must have kept the restaurant open for us. And Nasser was so pissed off that it was taking a long time for the food to come This is what he said. And he was preparing for the Olympia. He's like, I cannot say. He was like putting down the waitress. Yeah, you are all imbeciles here. And I have a Mr. Olympia competition coming up, and I cannot take this anymore. They're like, sir, please, we have a lot of food to cook. He's like, you are a bunch of morons. Just bring me a dish of ice cream. I said, Nasser, you got the Olympia coming up. He goes, I don't give a shit. They don't have to cook this. I want to see ice cream here. I want 2 bowls of vanilla ice cream. And they're like, sir, you sure? We'll bring you food. I said, forget it. I'll take his food. He's like, give him the food. He eats too much anyway. He's like, bring me my ice cream. So they bring him these 2 huge bowls of ice cream. I forgot the story. It just came to me. These 2 huge bowls of like vanilla ice cream. And Nasser ate both of them. Devoured them.
Yeah.
I said, Nasser.
And what, the food came 2 minutes later? The chicken breast and the rice?
Yeah, of course. 10 minutes later they came, yeah. And so I ate Nasser's meal and my meal, of course. This is when I was over 300 pounds. And I'm like, Nasser, get up and pose. I bet you're all veiny from the ice cream. Yeah, are you mocking me? I said, no, Nasser. Look at your arms, your forearms. I was feeding his ego. I'm like, look at your forearms. Look at the veins, Nasser. He's like, yes. Let me go to the bathroom first. And he used to, everyone used to wear those fanny packs. He had his fanny pack had to weigh 25 pounds. He must have had like a Glock in there or something.
The fanny pack in the baggy pants he always used to wear.
So he goes to the bathroom. I'm like, I tell the girl my ex-wife I was with, Barbara at the time. I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom and see what he's doing in there. So I tiptoe to the bathroom.
Up?
What?
Pumping up? Or
yeah.
What was he doing in there?
You'd say he's in there and he's like checking himself out, like at the mirror, and he's hitting a couple shots, like a couple bicep shots. I'm like, so I didn't say anything to him. I just stuck back out, and he comes out like a couple minutes later. I'm like, all right, Nasser, come on, just take the shirt off. You're gonna freak everyone out. He's like, I said, they took us out for lobster dinner. They probably spent a fortune here. Just you make the whole night. I said, take off the shirt. So she takes off his shirt and he's hitting pose. I'm like, look at this fucking freak, and I'm going crazy. I'm like pumping him up because I know that if he feels confident and he thinks he looks great, he's gonna perform more, because that's just the way Nasser was. And everyone's like, oh shit, and then waiters are coming over and taking pictures and stuff like that. And then of course I had a tank top on because I never wore any clothes anyway. So then I was posing with him. I wish we had pictures from that. I wish there was no cell phones back then, so no one had pictures. It was like a freak show at this restaurant. I'm like, come on, Nasser, get up on the table. He's like, no, I will break the table. Because I had him so bamboozled. He would have done anything for me at that point. He was like eating out of the palm of my hands. I said, Nasser, ice cream. Only a true freak could eat ice cream, and you probably put on 2 pounds of muscle from that. He's like, okay, take it easy. I know you just wanted my meal. So I used to have a lot of fun with Nasser at these, and then that's why when he at the end when he was like really ridiculing everyone, myself included, I was in shock. I realized that he just had hatred for everyone in the sport. He was very jealous and envious, and he felt that he was not respected. If you remember, I think wasn't he the only person when they had all the Arnold Classic champions that came back that one year? Yeah, Nasser was supposed to come and he didn't show up.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
he did have the respect of people.
Well, he won the Arnold Classic that one year. That he looked really good, and then he should. And even Dorian said it. Dorian said it in an interview just so recently that Nasser, he didn't say he should have beat him, but he said Nasser gave me a run for my money in '97. It was very close. And
he gave him a run. He gave him a run in '97. He gave him a run in '90. I mean, every time he gave him a run.
Well, 97, Nasser should have won the Olympia because Dorian had like 14 muscle tears. He was in the hospital like for 2 weeks before. He was bleeding internally. He had blood transfusions. He looked terrible. He was just the miracle that he made it to the Olympia. It really was. That shows you what the heart of a champion is about. But Nasser was his best. And I think when Nasser...
No. The year he was disqualified was his best.
Maybe, but he was close to his... I felt that was Nasser's Olympia, and I think Nasser felt that too. And I think that when Nasser didn't win that Olympia, he wasn't the same after that. And even though he was... You got to remember, people don't remember, he was third in 98 when Ronnie won that Olympia and Flex Wheeler was second. He was awesome at that show too. Those guys just was so. I mean, he was competing against Ronnie Coleman, who was a fucking freak in nature, and Flex Wheeler, who was close to his best. Nasser was sensational at that show, but people don't talk about that because it was really Ronnie versus Flex, that final call out. Everyone forgot that Nasser was in the show. But he was really good at that. I mean, tremendous.
He was very dry. Yeah, that was probably the driest he'd been in 3 or 4 years.
He beat Livroni, and Livroni, went on and won all those Grand Prix after that, if you remember.
Yeah, that's right.
He probably won more money than anyone that year. I think he won $150,000 cash from the Russian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You heard that story, right? Where they had to smuggle the money, but he had to give everyone $10,000 to put in their pocket
to go through customs.
To get through customs, yeah. I said, "You got it all back too?" He probably was so drunk he probably doesn't even remember. He's like, "Yeah, I got it back." I said, "I don't believe it."
I know someone who had went through customs recently with $150,000 in their suitcase.
Really?
Yeah. The customs says, "What are you doing with this?" He said, "I need to spend."
Oh, but he legitimately was a wealthy guy, so he didn't have to worry about it. When I used to come back from the Arnold Classic, when we used to do the booth there, we would have sometimes $20,000 cash. I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do? How are we going to get through the customs with this? Customs. How are we going to get through the security? They're going to say, what the hell you have all this cash for? I was afraid they would make us fill out forms and stuff like that. Yeah. And they would be like all dollar bills, so they would be like, the size of the wad of cash was ridiculous. Yeah. Why we didn't just deposit it in the bank in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know. But anyway, those were the days. That was our show of reminiscing. I miss Nasser. I do, even though he was like an ass at the end. I do miss him. He could have been such a great commentator, you know what I mean?
He was very funny.
Can you imagine an Iron Debate with fucking Nasser? Oh my God!
You'd lose because
you couldn't beat him. He's too smart.
No, well, he talks fast. He talks a lot, and he's great at inserting 70% of the facts with 30% of the non-facts to get to a conclusion. Right.
What would he have said about the whole Hadi Choopan not showing up? It would have been racial, definitely. Yes, let's see these are the Iranians. They do not get along with the Kuwaitis, and I am sure that he believed that there would be politics involved, and I don't know if his gut could handle him holding it in long enough. For the Kuwaitis to not to make fun of him, and so he was afraid to show up at the show.
I don't know what he would say. But you were right. He would say something funny.
Yeah, he had a lot of wit about him, and because he remembered everything that ever happened. You think Milos remembers everything? Nasser would be correcting Milos. He'd be like, "No, Milos, you are incorrect. Your trunks were not the dark blues. They were the teal blue. I remember. I saw the tag inside. It was Andreas Calling suit, and it was the Olympia style cut. You must remember that because Andreas Calling. Remember he used to say that he was a vegetarian, but I know for a fact I saw him eat the fish and the eggs, and he was a liar. But I never called him out because I would wear the trunks that he would give me for free because people do not remember, but back then there was no custom cut trunks, and people did not put all these ridiculous rhinestones on the trunks. It was we bought them from Andreas Calling, and we had to pretend that we believe he was a vegetarian.
Now, what would Nasser say about classic bodybuilding?
Huh? Yes,
what would you say about board short bodybuilding?
It is for the classic bodybuilding is for the swimmers. You know, the swim guys who swim in the pool. They like to compete because they think they are ripped. You know, you ever watch these swimming meets? They flex after they get out of the pool. So they created the new class for the swimmers, and now they can pose and they could win money. And probably in 5 years. They will be making more money than the open guys, and we will be sitting in the kiddie pool waiting for them to finish. he would go on and on and on and on for hours and hours, probably annoying the crap out of everyone listening to the show. But that was Nasser. I'm telling you, if you ever listened to him, he has the stories would just get more and more convoluted the longer he talked. So, well, we still have a lot of great interviews going up. I actually did an interview the other day in Publix supermarket with my son Logan. Everyone seems to be liking that. It seems like people want more reality stuff. They like the. I showed everyone what was in my shopping cart. Basically, I went through all the foods that I had in the shopping cart. And it wasn't a full shopping day, but Logan was having a good time with that. So people seem to find that. I did a great interview with Johnny Jackson. It's up on the site. It's his last. I interviewed him at the Olympia about what it meant for him to retire and this to be his last show.
Up now? I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, it's up now. We just we had so many interviews from the Olympia that we're starting to putting them up now. So there's a lot of good ones you guys haven't seen yet. So that's going up. I have another day in the life of Dave Palumbo this coming week coming up. Once again, Chris and I will try to do iron debate this week, assuming we get all the equipment working, and we got a lot to talk about over the next couple weeks because the next big exciting thing is going to definitely be the NPC Nationals down in Miami. I'm already putting in my reservation, Chris, if you're going to have your condo available.
I haven't even checked. That's how busy I've been. I told you this is a busy week.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I think it is. Okay. I think it is.
All right. Every year you usually have it available around that time. Hopefully you will. I enjoy Chris. When Chris is great, because people don't know this. When we stay at Chris's condo, Chris sleeps on the couch.
That's right. And I say,
why?
Hey, tell me stories. You know what I say this. Tell me stories, Dave.
Yeah, you do it purposely. You're like, I don't want to sleep in the bedroom because then I'm not going to hear the stories.
And you stay up working all night long.
Yeah.
And I'll doze off and I'll say, tell me a Bleckman story, and I'll start crying, laughing. And I'll say, tell me a Lee Priest story, and I'll say, tell me a Nasser story, and then I'll doze off again, and it's ridiculous.
Speaking of Bleckman, one of my the guys that I'm friends with sends me like a text message with these pictures of this guy, and he's like. Oh, no, they were his pictures. It was actually, I won't say what it is because I don't want to throw him under the bus, but it was a guy who wanted to send me pictures to show me what he looks like. He always sends me pictures. He looked really good, and he's getting ready for Nationals in 6 weeks. He's like Jordan Beckman said that I should contact you and send you these pictures, and I'm like, Jordan Bleckman? I said, Jordan Bleckman. I'm thinking to myself, that's Bleckman's son. I'm like, he hates us. I'm like, why would he send them up? I said, really, Jordan? Jordan said that you should come over and send him pictures.
Did he make a mistake?
I'm like, wow, maybe him and his dad are having a fight or something like that. And then I looked at the text and it said Jordan Beckman, not Jordan Bleckman.
Oh.
I said, oh, okay. Now, all's well in the world now. Okay, as long as we're still hated, that's all that matters. So, so I've been seeing a lot of good guys. I got a couple horses in the race. I'm sure you got a couple horses in the race as well. And I'm looking forward to the Nationals. That's the end of the year. And then, of course, I see that John Enrico Pica over there at San Marino Pro is going to have some freaking lineup over there because not only does he have the pro show, but the amateur show is going to be an open qualifier. It's a non-sanctioned show, but sanctioned by the IFBB Pro League, Germanian, to turn anyone who shows up pro. I mean, anyone anywhere in the world can just show up at this show. If you win, you're going to get a pro card. And so I guarantee you. Now, San Marino, you've been there before. It's not a very big, country. It's it's part of it, kind of part of Italy, but it's not. It's like its own little municipality there, and that place is going to be. That hotel will definitely be sold out. They're going to have to call in the cavalry, so to speak. People might be pitching tents on the mountainside there, because that I guess you could say announcement of that is probably going to make that show blow up out of control. Guaranteed.
Who's the headliners for the competitors? Like, who's the big two names?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know who's going to show up there because it's at the end of the year. Who the hell can Well, think about this. Here we can do a little reconnaissance. Who can hold out and diet that long, and still look good? I would say right off the bat, and I don't know if this is the case, I would say Lucas Osladol is the most conditioned guy I know. Sure. I guarantee he'll be there. And I guarantee you Jeff Beckham will be there. No doubt about it, because Jeff likes to do those end-of-the-year shows. Who else?
I don't know.
I bet that Peter Clancy guy was there last year. He did well. I bet he shows up.
He's very good. I
bet he'll show up. I think we'll be surprised. I think there'll be a couple of guys jump in. I don't think you're going to see your top Olympia guys because look.
No, but they'll be good guys.
Yeah, if you're an Olympia guy and you're thinking about doing the Arnold Classic, I mean, you got to be resting now. You can't be dieting for a show in December and then you got to go into contest prep for the Arnold. It's just too much.
Yeah.
But San Marino's beautiful. And that time of year, it's starting to get a little chilly, but it's still kind of nice during the day, and the sun comes out. It's on the mountainside. I enjoyed going there. I would go back. Certainly once my kids got a little older, I'd love to take them there. But I think it'll be a great show. So there's still a lot to go. There's still a lot going on this year, but we're winding down. And do you take your kids trick or treating, Chris? I meant to ask you that.
Last year was the first year, believe it or not, we went trick or treating we took the 4-year-old.
Wow.
And I can't remember what he went as. But we went to a little, we didn't go door to door. There was like a big church that was having a Halloween festival in their parking lot.
That's cute.
So
my son loves the
he's been planning since last year to go again. I don't know what he's already seen in like the grocery store the little outfits.
I got the Spider-Man outfit for my son, and because he loves Spider-Man, but when we put it on him, he wouldn't put the mask on. He was crying hysterically. So we're in like Walmart today or something like that, and I'm going to tell you something good about Walmart too. We're in Walmart today, and he sees the Incredible Hulk costume. Now, I did a little video with him the other day. I put it up on my Instagram. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I saw that. I did. It was great.
Yeah, it was me basically, telling him. Yeah, I said, Logan, remember one thing. Don't make me angry. And then I put the Hulk mask on. I said, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And I gave the roar. And he, normally, if anyone else would have done it, he would have been hysterically crying. But because he knew it was his goofy dad doing it, he was laughing hysterically. He loved it. So now he's intrigued by the Hulk. So now he sees the Hulk costume in Walmart, and he's like pointing at it. And my wife said, "You're not buying him another costume." I said, he likes it. If they didn't have his size, I would have gotten it from him otherwise. She's like, "You're a sucker. I'll buy anything for him. There's nothing like I'm the biggest sucker. There's no way that I could say no to him. Like kids ask for everything. I'll be buying everything behind my wife's back because I can't say no to the kid. He's got the innocent, daddy eyes, and probably I'll be worse with my daughter, I'm sure, too.
Of course.
When it's coming. So, anyway, but I found out one great thing about Walmart. My dad always asks me for pictures. He's like, let me see a picture of him. And I pull my phone out, and he's like, don't you guys have real... my dad thinks a picture is a printed out picture. He doesn't, digital pictures are not like the same for him. So he wants to have something to like, I guess, look at. And the fact that he can't remember anything more than 10 seconds is probably beneficial to him if he had a picture to look at to remember who I am and my wife Amanda is and who his grandson is. So in Walmart they have these machines now. I probably everyone else knows about it. I don't know. And you don't even need to connect your phone. You could actually wirelessly via Bluetooth connect your phone and download any pictures that you want from your phone onto the computer screen there at Walmart, and then you could print them out. And you could print them out any size you want. I printed out 5x7s from my phone. I even printed one. There was a picture of Amanda, myself, and Logan. It was a selfie on the beach we took, and Logan's eyes are like closed. And I printed it out in it was like 18 by 24 or something like that size, and it was like stretched on a canvas. I order it. Less than 24 hours later, it's ready. I go pick it up. I pick up the pictures. 1 day later, pick up the pictures, this beautiful canvas thing stretched out. And I'm telling you, it looked like a professional photographer took it. These iPhones take such good pictures now.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
And they're high resolution. And the printing that these machines do that they have in Walmart. And I'm telling you, the whole thing was like so cheap. It was like 75 cents a print I had or something like that. And I think the canvas I printed out was like $25 or something like that. But it was like a real like something you would pay hundreds of dollars for. So if any of you guys, have relatives or you want to print out pictures, you have good pictures on your phone you took, I'm telling you, you'll be shocked at the quality of what you get from a stupid Walmart photo machine there. And once again, you don't have to do anything. You could just wirelessly Bluetooth them right to the computer screen. It's the technology we have today is so amazing, and it's advancing so quickly that it's impossible to stay on top of it all. You know, it's tremendous. And I can't even imagine they have the new iPhones out now. The 8's out, but they can have the iPhone X, which is supposed to be even more spectacular. So the resolution of these cameras are like Nikon. They're like Nikon cameras. They have lenses and everything now. So it's a miracle. It really is. It's an absolute miracle. I love it. I don't even know. I try to think about what the next big thing in technology is going to be. I can't even envision it. That's how incredible the technology is now. Anyway, we probably babbled on too long. So I'm going to let you go. I know it's late. Chris, I guess I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks, but at the Nationals. But there's nothing else coming out. You're not traveling anywhere, are you? In the next couple of weeks?
I'm not going nowhere. Not going nowhere.
Wow, that's good brownie points, for the family. Sometimes
I don't get
you travel.
Points.
No, you had to have taken a real beating last year. You were on the road, for weeks. This year you cut back a lot.
Yeah.
Why cut back? Doesn't pay.
It pays. It does pay.
It doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. Did you know that Cape Coral, Florida, is like either number 1 or number 2 on the biggest or the fastest growing cities in America?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before. But they just came out with a new thing. They say it's only 50% developed down here. So
yeah. It's a real estate.
I wanted you to come down here, and I wanted to go looking at places with you because I think I need some of your. I need your real estate expertise, and I'm sure you'll probably want.
I know what I like immediately when seeing it.
I got to get you down here. Next time you're in Florida, we got to get the family. We got to get the families together.
Christmas time, I'm coming for 3 weeks.
All right, good. So we'll get you down here. And we'll go property shopping because you like that.
Yeah.
I can convince you to do that. We can look at some real estate.
Exactly.
We'll go in a building together. That'll be the end of our friendship.
What's the biggest one? Yeah, I know. That's true. That's what happens, right?
No, but seriously, they have. I want to buy huge lots of land. I mean, because I'm telling you, there's going to be huge.
Dave, I'm telling you,
business here.
Listen, all you have to do is follow the weather and follow the taxes. There's no tax. There's great weather other than the hurricanes,
and no taxes.
And there's no taxes.
Super low.
Why would you live somewhere else when you can live in good weather with no taxes?
Yeah, I'm going to make this the new bodybuilding mecca.
I mean, that
all the poor bodybuilders
automatically puts a floor under housing prices and property prices. Mm-hmm. In other words, a floor meaning, there's things can and will go down, but they'll bounce back because of that floor.
Because the east coast of Florida is too expensive, and the taxes are not that cheap there. But the west coast, where I am, southwest, I mean, the weather's amazing, and like you said, the price is right. I mean, and it's newly developed. I'm convinced in 10 years it's going to be like Long Island here, but that's all right because I'm already got my foot in the door. So, but I think that the key is land. I think you got to buy land. That's the key.
Well, that's what Disney did, right?
Yep.
He bought it secretly, though.
That's true. I want to buy land. I want to build we'll build a new South Florida Mecca down here. Southwest Florida Mecca. All the bodybuilders. I'm gonna pull like a Bader. Maybe I'll get an Oxygen Gym franchise. Bader. I'll get Bader to finance it. We'll open the. Instead of people having to fly to Kuwait, we can have like little satellite areas so that the people can. Bader can still supervise it, but they don't have to quite go so far. They can just come to Florida here. We'll get farmlands and we'll build barracks, army barracks for all the bodybuilders to live in, and they can farm their own food. They can slaughter the cows for their beef. It'll be all grass-fed beef. They can milk the cows for the milk, and they can make their own whey protein from it. And they'll, as they said of Mice and Men, they'll live off the fat of the land. And that's all she wrote. That's my quote of the week. We will all live off the fat of the land. And on that note, we're out of time. Until next week, remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone.